Hi everyone! Today I'm going to be sharing my story of how I'm making a difference in music education. As many of you have noticed, all students learn differently. Some are visual, some are observers, and some are hands-on students. Yet others might need the content to be taught in a completely different way. That's where my story comes in. As well as being a music education major, I'm a violinist who also plays viola, cello, and piano. You see, I noticed a problem when I was learning music theory, and I really needed a solution that would fix it. My problem was that the content felt irrelevant to what I really wanted to learn, and it was often boring and not very motivating. I think this video does a nice job of conveying what I felt. The solution for me was actually pretty easy. All I had to do was combine it with something that I found really motivating and interesting, which for me is Disney. And you're probably thinking, did she just say Disney? Yeah, I did. Sometimes I get people telling me that Disney is just for kids, and I'm like, where does it say that? I don't see that anywhere, do you? Walt Disney once said, "I do not make films primarily for children. I make them for the child in all of us, whether we be 6 or 60. Another reason that using Disney in music theory is such a good idea is because it connects to just about anything. Disney is a big company, and it's been around a long time. I've created this handy organizer to show just a few of the things that Disney owns. So there's definitely a lot of material out there, and Disney is still a thriving company that continues to produce content. Another reason why using Disney is a great idea is because of the year 1923. 1923 is the year that Disney was founded, which means unless you were born before 1923, Disney has been around your entire life, which I bet that Disney played some role in your childhood, whether it was a family vacation spot or a movie to watch on a Saturday night. I know that people are partial to the movies that they grew up with, which is why I try to include material from each of Disney's different eras, which include the Golden Age, the Wartime era, the Silver Age, the Dark Ages, the Renaissance era, the Second Dark Ages, and the Second Renaissance. That way, everyone gets material that they're familiar with. By now you might be wondering how exactly I'm teaching this stuff. Well, I created a YouTube channel called How to Survive Music, because that's honestly how I felt when I was learning music theory. I didn't know how I was going to survive it. There were a lot of days when I felt just like this.
We're dead! We're dead! We'll survive, but we're dead!
So what this project really is a series of YouTube videos that are free for anyone to use. I pick a music theory subject, and then I find Disney material that will help me teach it. Then I put it together in a video and post it to YouTube. Here's an example so you can visualize what I'm talking about.
The edge of the water, long as I can remember, never really knowing why. Look at everyone, they don't realize we planned a party as a big surprise.
This next scene comes from Disney's Lilo and Stitch. However, there are a lot of key changes, so make sure you look at the treble clef to make sure you catch them all. This is what my YouTube channel currently looks like. I don't have a lot of videos right now, but I keep adding to them. The hardest part of these videos is actually doing the filming of myself, since it's kind of awkward to look at a camera for hours on end. The next difficult part is finding definitions that will make sense to a variety of ages. Sometimes it takes me a while to reword everything, but I've usually gotten it right in the end. The fun part comes in when I start looking for Disney examples. This is the part I excel at since I know this stuff pretty well. I usually find the material just by listening to it. A lot of times I'm listening to Disney music, yeah, I'm not even surprised, and I just come across it and I keep little notes saying, oh yeah, that would work for this subject, or hey, did you hear that? That'll work. The artwork for the background titles is also created by myself. Then I edit all the videos together, and then I post it to YouTube. I also keep an Instagram and a Facebook page that I intend to keep interactive content on. I spend a lot of time designing these videos so that they can fit a variety of learners. First of all, I usually try to keep the introduction fun, light, and simple. I keep the explanations with definitions, and I make sure that I read them out loud so that way people can hear them as they go. I try to use the same formula each time, which is currently where I introduce the concept, explain it, and then show an example. I also use a lot of colors, because we all know that our brains really like color, and it gets really boring if it's in black and white all the time. I try to limit the amount of text that I use and keep the subject flowing. I try not to dwell on something too long, otherwise it gets old and boring. I also try to mix it up between using things like animation versus live action. I try to use both because I know that some people are really into the animation, whereas some people just don't like it and would rather watch the live action. The last thing I add to these videos is scatter bits of trivia throughout each piece, or I hide hidden Mickeys for people to find. This makes it more fun to watch, and you're more likely to actually remember it. Plus, it's an incentive to go back and watch the video again. I hope, if anything, I've inspired you to think outside the box and change your content to be more inspiring and motivational. Just think, what if?
If is good.
What if you could change one student's world? Wouldn't it be worth it? Take your newfound inspiration and let it fuel your passion for teaching. Thank you.